Yee! All right, man, what is up and what is glorious YouTube, the World Wide Web? As you guys can see, man, in live HD, it's your host with the most, Paul Cantu, the Thrift God. Back at you guys with a brand new customization video. So I was out and about at Sally Beauty Supply grabbing a little outliner blade for my hair cutting equipment, and next door to that beauty store was a Payless that was going out of business. So I was like, dude, there has to be at least a couple pairs of shoes that are in this Payless that'll be like 50% off and already tiny little price that I could customize, revise, and make dope. So basically that's what the premise of today's video is going to be. So without further ado, I'm just gonna hop in the whip, skirt over to Payless, and see what shoes they have in store to be customized. Let's get it. Voila! All right guys, and we have arrived. So this is the Sally Beauty Supply I was at right here. There is a trash can that is absolutely overwhelmed with garbage. And then right here, oh God, it's probably really bright, is the Payless I was talking about. So literally, man, you guys can see it's covered in nothing but closing sale signs. Everything must go, everything on sale, entire store 40 to 70% off. Rathas, it's about that time, baby. Let's get it and see what they got. Oh Lord. So I'm in the men's section. It appears that the men's shoes are 40% off. Thank you, sign, for that little informative piece of knowledge. Ooh, the options are actually pretty limited. Oh, but they got the Dexter. All right guys, so here are all the options we have. Size 12. You got these denim shoes. These aren't really the best surface to customize, and they ugly. You have, ooh, the little Berkey option. These are like 30 bucks. These actually might be cool for the summer to customize. Oh, and they're the Dexter brand. Dexter. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I might have to get these. I don't know what material that is, but it seems like a viable option. Let's see what else. More Dexters. They got the modern day Jesus sandals for men, very teched out. Boat shoes. These are dope, dude. If they had these in like a white, I would definitely grab these. These are like that Ian Connor like Sketcher vibe going on right here. They have the off-brand Converse, dress shoes, no thanks. And then they got the retirement home exclusive in the black on black stealth colorway. I think based off the choices, I mean, they also got the thongs. What up? I'm gonna go with the Berkeys for men. All right, so in hand I got the double Dexters of Berkeys, and I got the all pink little Berkey bubblegum option as well. Bro, these are 13. I might have to cop these too. Facts. All right, man. So I actually only got one pair. I figured if I want to do another like customized pair, then I'll come back and get another one. But yeah, shout out the cashier lady too. She was hella cool. I'm really like stoked on the pink Berkeys, but I'm more excited about getting into this customization right now. So I got the bag secured. Let's hop into it. Woo! Alrighty. And we are back, baby. So here are the Dexters. What I think I'm gonna do on these guys is, whoa, not fumble him hopefully, is do a little patchwork grid type of design with a bunch of multicolors. I know anyone who watches my customs knows that I usually just add every single color on every custom that I do. And you know why? Because I want my customs to be able to match everything. So yeah, I'll probably just start prepping the surface, sketch the design, and then get to painting these bad boys. Let's do it. All right, guys, what's percolating, man? So as y'all can see, we have the shoes on the table right now, or I guess dad's sandal slippers, if you will. So I just tucked the straps behind the ears to begin with. And looking at these shoes, I had no idea what the material was. So I whipped out some nail polish remover, and I also got out some cotton rounds just to make sure that when I prep the surface, all the paint would adhere to it. So basically when it comes to shoes, there almost always is this clear coat of paint laid atop the leather. And as you guys can see, see, there's this weird green algae looking like material that is being soaked into the cotton round. So there must be some type of clear coat of paint that is protecting the leather these sandals are made of. So I just rubbed down the upper of the shoe in the big blocks with the cotton swabs, and then to get underneath those buckles, I had to get a nice Q-tip to get in there all nice and deep like under the crevices. So yeah, I just had to pay attention to the detail and just ensure that there was nothing that would prevent the paint from sticking to the surface, because anytime you're about to do a customization, the most important work is the preparatory process. Alright, so as y'all can tell, the surface does look a little bit smoother. It had this like pebble kind of rough texture initially, but it does look like I did do some damage in getting rid of whatever material was atop the leather. So then next, I just rubbed down the leather uppers with water on a toothbrush. I didn't necessarily need to do this, but I just want to make sure the acetone of the nail polish was completely gone, so I just wiped all the water off, and then it was time to actually begin to paint the shoes. So the paint that I'm using is Angelus flat white paint. It's linked in the description. Angelus paint is just paint made for leather, so if you guys need some, click the link down below. But what I did was I started painting the shoes with the white paint, just so any bright color that I laid down after would pop off the frame. So it's very important to paint any color of leather that isn't already white if you want some bright, vibrant colors going all throughout. Now, if I were to paint these shoes all black, theoretically, I would not have to do that. But yeah, I just basically was drenching the whole shoe in this white cocaine concoction of color and being really slow, steady, and careful around the edges. I am confident with my steady hand perk, so I really didn't have all that much to worry about. I just took my time with it and made sweet love caressing the surface with the paintbrush. And again, man, I just had to get in there all nice and deep like and get underneath those buckles and those straps. Honestly, that is the most annoying part of this custom, was actually working around these buckles, boy. Jesus, remind me never to paint a belt in my life. So yeah, to get around the buckles, I had this smaller brush that I used as well, just to help me again fill in all the areas that were tan with that poltergeist white. Yes, sir, indeed. So here's all the white laid down on the sandals, and as you guys can see, man, the first initial layer of white did not look all that good or even close to being evenly applied. So that's when you have to add a couple more coats. Again, I am just priming the surface, but I actually ended up adding about 3 coats. And as you guys can see, the second one really made a difference. But when all 3 were added, woo, boy, that shoe was looking heavenly, man. Just pure Colombian on that guy. So yeah, I did like the way the white turned out once I added the 3rd layer, and then it was time to actually start painting on the kick. Now, before I started painting, man, I wanted this like kind of mosaic-ish type of design. So I actually whipped out painter's tape, which I almost never use. I just wanted the lines to be as crispy as possible. So I did decide to lay down some painter's tape to create some nice geometric shapes on the sandals that I would actually fill in. So I made a rectangle right there, and then just started really going ham with the blue painter's tape. And yes, I use painter's tape, that way it doesn't rip off any of the primer that I just added on the surface of this kick. So once I had a couple rectangles blocked in, it was about that time, daddy. So the first color I used was this yellow right here, looking like sunshine, looking like a damn sunflower, looking like dehydrated urine. So yeah, I just started filling it in. I added about 3 coats of paint per rectangle, per square that I actually did. So I hit the outside and the inside with a few little rectangles of color just to try and balance out the shoe in its entirety. I also did hit the straps as well. And this is pretty much the technique that I'm going to go with. So usually I draw out designs, but I was just freestyling on this bad boy, just using the tape to dictate where I'd add the next color. And I wanted a wide array of colors. That way the sandals could match just about anything under the sun. So the next color I used was this nice little pastel type of pink. So I was combining a lot of pastels with bright colors just because that's what I was feeling in the moment. And I did, again, multiple rectangles in multiple sections of the sandal. That way the kicks could be balanced with the color palette. And the color palette was very expansive. And I also wanted a variation of the sizes of rectangles. But as y'all can see, when I actually ripped the tape off the yellow, a lot of the paint actually seeped through. So the painter's tape really wasn't the best idea, but I just decided to stick with it just for congruency of the kick. However, I was like, dude, I might as well have just freestyled all these rectangles myself because I do have a steady hand. But what I realized was when you peel off the paint on the tape on the curved surface of the sandal, sometimes it will leave little lines, which was a bit unfortunate and it wasn't perfect. However, I just figured I'd roll with it and do an outline at the end to clean up all the lines. So the next color I added was orange all atop the sandals, orange door hinge. Put your bitch in storage. You dig? Shout out him and them. I also did another rectangle on the interior of the shoe with the orange as well. Then I hit a nice little lavender variety to go with the nice pale pastel pink I had. So I got pastel greens, pinks, bright oranges, reds. I'm adding a bright green, a Gucci green on the scrap right there. But basically, man, I was just having a field day with these shoes, which is what you should do anytime you are creating a custom. Now, some of the biggest colors that I added were red, and then at the very end, you guys will see I add a blue, but I just wanted the primary colors to really be the ones that pop. So the primary colors are red, blue, and green, not green, yellow. I'm high, not really, but I also added gray to kind of tone down the shoe as well. So I added some neutral colors such as gray. As you guys can see, I started giving up on the tape once I realized the lines weren't coming out super clean. I started freestyling some smaller designs and it worked just as effectively. But yeah, I used some beige and gray as well, just to kind of neutralize a little bit of the bright colors, add some variety. And then the last color I added was this Smurf skin tone colored blue, and this was what filled in all the last giant blocks of sandal that we had to paint. So I had to add a lot on the outside, and then also a lot of the blue on the inside. Again, 3 coats is what creates an even paint job and makes sure that there are no brush stroke marks or anything of that nature, and it really gives the shoe a professional vibe and finish, which is what I was going for on this custom. Okay, so then once all the paint was applied, I ripped off the tape to reveal the final form, and the line work was not crisp at all, which was disappointing. So if I would have left it as is, I honestly could not be satisfied with myself. I could not sleep at night and I would have night terrors constantly. So the next day, what I actually did was I decided to go ahead and clean up the lines by outlining the sandals with a marker. So I got a Sharpie right here, and what is really annoying is that I am actually blind. Not really, but I can't see super well, and I had to be really precise with this process. So I was getting all up on this shoe and was blocking the camera with my back. But here are the sandals when the line work was complete. I went over each line about 2 times. Yes, they aren't perfectly straight, but it is hard to draw a straight line on a curved sandal surface. So I did my best, but it does give it kind of that homemade type of vibe while also looking professional and clean from a distance. So I was pretty satisfied with the sandal. However, the buckles needed to be cleaned up. So again, got out that nice little cotton swab, that Q-tip, and I just removed with the nail polish remover all the paint that was left on the bronze buckles of these kicks, just to give the shoe a clean overall finish. So here are what the shoes look like in my crib. Just a couple slow shots showing all the line work, all the color blocking, but it does show that you can do a lot with a $15 blank sandal silhouette that you get at Payless, and really go in there with a little bit of creativity and time. It was a frustrating process, not gonna lie, but well worth it in the end. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe as per the usual, and here are what the shoes look like, or sandals look like, on feet in these streets, baby. Yeah. Oh my god, what up, big fella?
life I ruse to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.